What's up, everybody? It's the Tebits back with some more Elite Dangerous. Today we're going to be launching from the Procyon system. I'm going to be doing some additional exploration. I did a little bit off camera. It's also why I have this ship here. It is a hauler. It's one of the very early starter ships. The hauler can be used for some light transport or light cargo runs, but I usually set my hauler up to do some early game exploration. Did a little bit off camera last week. I actually tried to record for it, but the video would not upload properly, so I ended up having to just basically delete it. You'll see I've actually got over a little under 1.4 million credits. That's just 2 systems explored got me that amount of money. So you can make quite a bit of cash doing exploration missions. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and log in. I always like the orange outline of the ship on the loading screen. Okay, here we are in the Davy dock in the Procyon system. There's a specific reason that I picked Procyon. I'm actually trying to unlock access to the Sirius star system. And in order to get into Sirius, you have to be granted the permit to get in there through the Sirius Corporation. The Sirius Corporation is actually in control of the Procyon star system. So by delivering exploration data back to Procyon, I will increase my standing with the Sirius Corporation, and they'll eventually give me the permit to go into the Sirius star system itself. I'm going to be using a tool that outlines what they call the Road to Riches. It is edtools.cc, and it gives up. There's a bunch of different options on here. If you want to do mining, if you want to do, or if you want to do exploration, this is a great tool to use. On this tool, there are radio buttons up at the top, and you can select what you want to search for. And there's actually an option for the Road to Riches, and you type in your starting system, hit get, and set some different parameters like the number of systems and the maximum number of light years you want to travel, and hit get route, and it tells you where to go and what planets in the systems to go to get the most return and the most bang for your buck during exploration. Being in the Procyon system, I'm still in what's known as the bubble, which is the heart of humanity's expansion into the Milky Way. But there are still some unexplored areas that I can go to within the bubble. I've already visited 2 of them. I visited the Fomalhaut and the Trappist-1 system. That is what I turned in to get the amount of money that I currently have. So my destination today, I'm going to fly out to the first place, and that is going to be the Ross 298 system. There is one planet in the Ross 298 system. I will scan it and I will map it, which will maximize the amount of credits that I get for exploring that world. I'm going to do a couple of them. And I'll show you Ross. I'll show you the process into the Ross 298 system, and then I'll do a couple of more, and we'll come back to Procyon and sell them. Now, in order to sell exploration data, you cannot sell any systems that are within 20 light years of the current station or the current system that you find yourself in. So anything within 20 light years of Procyon, I can't sell here. Let's go ahead and launch. I am currently in the hangar. Davy Dock is a very industrial looking
Detach confirmed. Departure authorized.
it's a very industrial looking space station. And what I like that a lot of, you'll have a lot of space stations that look very similar. I mean, there are only a couple of designs in use, but depending on the type of economy located in a star system will kind of dictate the types of stations that you'll find. Let's go ahead and speed up. What I'm going to do is go into my galaxy map. And we are going to search for Ross 298. Alright. So the Ross 298 system is a red dwarf star. It's independent. It is exploited by Pranav Antal. That is one of the... There are different galactic powers. So you have your primary, you have your primaries, you have the Federation, the Empire, and the Alliance, and then within those factions, you have different kind of within those factions you have different people who have a large amount of influence, and you can actually work for them directly. Not going to do that right now. But we're going to go ahead and head on over to the Ross 298 system. It is almost 80 light years away, so it's going to take a couple of jumps. I think, actually, 3 jumps. So our first destination will be the Wolf 25 system. The next jump point along the route is the Horus system.
Frameshift drive charging. System scan complete.
And our last jump here will be to Ross 298.
Frameshift drive charging.
Okay, here we are in the Ross 298 system. I have already done my discovery scan to basically honk the system and get all of the planetary or the planet locations. We're going to pull into the star here and do some quick refueling.
Fuel scoping.
I'm not going to get too close. Well, I can probably get a little bit closer than that just to kind of speed it up. But one of the great things you can do is if you find that nice little equilibrium spot, you can stop in your orbit and you will continuously scoop while just, while heating up a little bit, not too much. Alright, so fuel scooping is complete. Let's pull away from the star a little bit, just so that it's not interfering with my scans. We can go ahead and stop here. And now the planet that I'm looking for, using the Road to Riches on edtools.cc, is the 5th planet in the system. So if I come into the system map, and so here's the star. This is Ross 298. This is the first planet, second planet, third, fourth, fifth. This is a terraformable water world, I believe. Now there are a couple of other planets in here that I might also go ahead and map to. You can zoom in a little bit. They might be worth something, but this planet here is going to be the main moneymaker, and then this one may also be a decent one to map and scan. So we will set the 5th planet as our first destination. And here you'll see it's unexplored because I have never been. My ship does not have this planet in its memory banks. So even though it's a populated system, it's not been explored by me, or it's not been explored enough to be featured in everybody's navigational computers. As I get closer, my ship will automatically start scanning. It is a water world, and it's terraformable. So we're going to pop into our surface scanner. Currently out of range, but we're coming closer. There are... Now, this is a large planet, so I can shoot up to 10 probes to map it completely. You have an efficiency target that you're trying to hit. If I can fully map the system, the surface, without using, or with using 10 or less probes, I get a bonus to my money, to my monetary award. So let's go ahead and start firing some off. And we'll see what this gets us. The first 5 probes. And you have to map at least 90% of the planet's surface in order for it to count as fully mapped.
Surface scanned by 50%.
Alright, so I've gotten to 80. And then I can also hit my L1 button to show where the mapping is on the backside of the planet, because this is... So if I fire off in this direction, I'll probably land somewhere over here. I gotta get 9 more percentage points of the planet's surface mapped in order to get my... And in using 4 or less more probes. So close. Alright, this is gonna take a while to get around to, though. I'm just gonna keep in orbit around the planet. Alright, let's see. A little bit further. If I map this area in here, that'll probably get the efficiency target for me. Right, coming around one of the poles. I don't know if it's the North Pole or the South Pole, because I was, there doesn't really matter. There was no, there was no indicator as to, which was the top of the world and which was not. So let's fire this directly at the pole. Probably a little off target there, but close enough. Okay.
Surface scan complete.
So that took 7 probes and got the full efficiency. Let's back out of here. And just on I don't know if we're on the day side or the night side. We're coming around to the day side of the planet now, just to kind of see what it looks like. You're not going to see much. It's a water world, so mainly the polar ice caps, and that's about it. There's not really going to be any. There's not going to be any land masses on here. The other planet in the system that I wanted to go to was the 4th world. So Ross 298-4. And we will, from here, it is 52.2 light seconds away. So not too far. Again, as you get closer, your ship starts to scan. And Ross 298-4 is a high metal content world. Now, it does have an atmosphere around it, but depending on the atmosphere type, it may not be terraformable, but there might be minerals worth exploiting on the planet's surface. And to me, when I do exploration, I tend to fly to the planets that I want to kind of look at individually instead of doing the there's another way to scan the planets, before you get to them, and that's using there's a tool that all of the ships come with, which is kind of like a frequency, a radio frequency modulation. You can scan the planets and kind of figure out what they are, without actually having to fly to them. But if you're going to be doing surface mapping, to me, it's just more efficient to fly to the planets anyway, since seeing how you have to fly to them to map them. Alright, coming on in. You can see here, this is primarily a rocky world. Does not look like there's a lot of surface liquid. Actually, got some, there's obviously some sort of water vapor in the atmosphere, because you've got clouds. So it might be able to sustain life. There might,
Surface scanned by 50%.
Alright, we only hit 82 there with the first 5. So I've got 4 more probes here that I can fire off to meet my efficiency target. We'll shoot one in this direction. And you have an unlimited number of probes.
Scan complete.
So that took 6 probes to fully scan this planet. Let's get a look at it from the outside. Oop. You always, whenever you're orbiting a planet, your ship automatically orients itself top down towards the planet. Just like when you see pictures of the space shuttle here on Earth orbiting the planet, unless it is doing maintenance on an object, when the space shuttle is just in orbit, it's always top down. It was always top down. There you can see some surface bodies of, don't know if that's actually like water, but it's it's surface bodies of some sort of liquid. Okay, so that was the exploration of the Ross 298 system. I'm going to go ahead and head on out to a couple of others, just to kind of build up a little bit of a bank. Our next location is, I am not going to even try to pronounce this. Well, yeah, I'll just type it in and you'll see. Uelio Dino. It's going to be my shot at actually pronouncing this. It is 34.42 light years away from my current destination, another red dwarf star. It's controlled by the same person, Pranav Antal. Let's go ahead and plot my route. They're going to be 2 jumps away, so I will see you when we get there.
Frameshift drive charging. Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete. Frameshift drive charging.
And here we are in the Uelio Dino system. I'm going to go ahead and trigger my my discovery scanner. There are 23 orbital bodies in this system. So what I'm going to do is show the other way to scan the planets without flying to each one.
Fuel scooping complete.
All right, let's go ahead and pull away from the star. Now that I've got my now that I'm completely refueled, we'll get a little bit above the plane of the system. And now what I'm going to be doing here is I'll pull back into where I have the star Uelio Dino, and I will be activating my full spectrum scanner. Okay, you can see the star there, and then around these orbital lines somewhere are going to be the planets. There's Uelio Dino 1, 2, some of them are already mapped. Uelio Dino 4 is a high metal content world. Uelio Dino 7, it's an icy body, so this isn't going to be worth anything really to scan. And we just continue looking around the system until we get the notification that the system has been fully scanned. Uelio Dino 8 is a gas giant. Now this is going to be where a vast majority of the stellar bodies are probably located if the planet has a lot of moons in orbit. Yeah, you know, and if the object is a moon, you'll see it's Uelio Dino 8A. That's its first moon. And you can map every one. You could map every one of them if you want to. Each one of them is going to have little. It's going to increase. You know, you'll be able to sell it for a little bit of money. And these won't be worth much though. Maybe a couple hundred to a few thousand. However, sometimes in orbit around the gas giants, you will actually find habitable moons. It's rare, but they do exist. They are out there. Okay, so Uelio Dino 5. This is the planet that we were actually looking for in the system. I didn't want to do it the quick way through the system map, because you can kind of start seeing how the planets look in the system map and see which ones might be valuable. I wanted the full spectrum scanner is the basic way of doing exploration. So I could sell Uelio Dino 5 now for a certain amount of credits. However, if I actually go to it and do the surface mapping like I showed with the last one, we'll get even more. So let's head over to Uelio Dino 5. It is almost 80 light seconds away from where we currently are. It's not that far. Line up on the destination. Go ahead and map the planet, map the surface of the world, and then I probably will head back to the Procyon system to sell this data. This is the exploration. You know what you do when you do exploration. You fly to different star systems, and you know see what's there. If anything looks like it's worth mapping, you go ahead and fly to the planet, fire off some probes, and then when you get back to civilization, you can sell the data that you've gathered. Now, if you run into a mishap. If you run into a mishap when you're out there exploring, and your ship gets destroyed, well, any data that you might have had is gone. You've basically lost it at that point. So I tend to be very careful when I'm out exploring. I try not to get too close to certain stellar objects. But that was the mapping of the Uelio Dino system. So I know I said I was going to go back to the Procyon system after scanning the Uelio Dino system. However, I decided to stay out for a little bit longer and went actually all the way out to the SETI sector. I went to the system SETI sector CL-Y D55. This was probably the sixth. So I visited a total of about 4 systems today. This was the 6th one down on the list. So I scanned quite a few planets on my way into there. I decided at that point it was a good idea to head on back to Procyon to sell my data. Procyon is about 140 light years away from where I am, so I'm gonna have to make a multi-stage journey to get back there, refueling along the way just to make sure I have enough gas, enough gas in the tank to get back. So this is where I'm going to drop out for a couple of minutes, and I will talk to everybody when I get to Procyon. Here we are, one jump out of the Procyon system. Man, I love having a jump range of 30 plus light years. It gets you around the, especially it gets you around inside the bubble quite quickly. Now again, Procyon's a binary. Well, I think it's a binary. Yeah, it's a binary star system. So the station that I'm looking for, we're going to be going back to Davy Dock. The station itself is in orbit around one of the planets orbiting Procyon B, so it's a fair bit of distance away. So we will line up on our destination.
Fuel scooping.
There we are, 9,109.75 light seconds away. It's going to take us a little bit to get there. And here we are approaching Davy Dock. We are still a little over 600 light seconds away. Won't take us that much longer to get there, though. We're already feeling the effects of Procyon B's gravity. It's just slowing down travel a little bit into the station. Imagine living on a planet in orbit around a white dwarf. I wonder what the sky would look like. I wonder what the star would look like in the sky, and you know how dark it would be at night. You know, well, it would probably still be. I don't know. I would think it's to probably still be pretty dark at night. You know, especially considering facing away from the star. But I wonder if you'd be able to see the polar jets from the star from the planet's surface. I usually wait for the flight control to tell me or to stop speaking to me before I request docking. By the time they say something to me and say that I'm within their area of control, I know I'm within range of being able to request my docking clearance. All the little maneuvering jets firing off to put me in a position. I'm moving the camera around kind of fast. It's the planet that we're in orbit around. And here we come in at Davy Dock. Now, where am I? There I am. Upside down. Landing gear come down. And touchdown.
Landing successful. Clear to disembark. Enjoy your visit, Commander.
Alright, so we're back at Davy Dock. Let's go into the starport services. Universal Cartographics. This is where we will sell our exploration data. And yeah, so just a couple of systems. Well, I mean, about 4 to 6 systems that I visited today, and with the scanning and mapping that I did, that's a bit over 4.2 million credits. Just about an hour's worth of work. So it's it's a little bit intensive, but it's not that bad. You can make a lot of money really fast doing it this way. So all of this is the last system that I was in, CLY D55, and you can see the big earner there was D55-3. That got me 559,740 credits alone just for that one planet, because that was a terraformable water world. SETI Sector CLY D57 also had a couple of planets that were worth quite a bit of money. the smaller values here were usually just the stars themselves. Ross 298 was a good one. Ueliodino wasn't really that profitable, but it still had planet number 5 was a decent amount of money. So I can sell all of that for 4,269,443 credits.
Incoming message.
You see, the Ad Leonis and Ross 614, I cannot sell that here because if you look at the distance, I'm only 10.5 and 4.6 light years away from both of these star systems, so it's well within or really too close. Now I got a message for this. The Sirius Corporation. Hello, Commander. Your recent successes for Sirius Corporation have elevated your reputation status to friendly. You should keep completing successful operations with us to enhance your reputation further. We will always be happy to see you. From the Sirius Corporation operations team. And I also got another promotion. I got promoted to Trailblazer, the next rank up in the exploration tree. I'd love to be able to get to Elite. That'll take some work. So if we look and go to my status and the system status, or system factions, Sirius Corporation, I am cordial with them right now. If I keep working with them and get myself to, I believe, either friendly or allied, or maybe a little bit. I don't know exactly when I will be granted the permit, but I will get. I'll get a mail notification saying that I have been granted permit to the Sirius star system. Just real quick before we do anything else, I want to take a look and see if there are any decent ships for offer here. Okay, looks like just the basics. That's where we're going to leave it today, guys. Next time I come on for some more Elite Dangerous, I will probably look to get myself into a different ship. I don't think I have enough for an ASP yet. I probably don't, in all honesty, but I want to actually get into the other really good money-making operations here in the game, and that is mining. You can really churn out some profits for mining really quickly. But we will take a look at some of the other ways of making money in Elite Dangerous. We'll do some mining eventually. We'll do some cargo runs. We'll do some passenger transportation. There's all kinds of different stuff. I mean, I say all kinds. There's 4 main ways of making money in this game. Well, 5 if you include combat. Well, hang on. Am I counting right? You got exploration, combat, mining, transportation, and cargo running. So 5, yeah, I was right. I tend not to include combat because I don't do a whole lot of it. But again, that's enough rambling from me. So those are the 5 main ways of making money in this game. You got combat, transportation, passenger or cargo runs, exploration, and mining. We've done the exploration. It's pretty much the same from there, even though it's my favorite. It is kind of, unless you're seeing really cool things, it can be kind of boring because it's the same thing over and over again. Maybe next time we'll get into a different ship and do some mining. Eventually I could also outfit my hauler here to do some early cargo runs. We can possibly throw in a passenger compartment, do some passenger missions. The hauler's not set up for combat, but I do also have some other ships that I can use for combat. Again, I'm not too great at combat, but I promise even if I get into it, I won't cut out any bit of it. Except for looking for enemies to fight. If I get destroyed, you'll see me get destroyed. I'm not gonna hide that and make myself try to make myself look better as a better combat pilot than I am. So that's enough rambling from me, though. This is where I'm going to sign off. If you liked the video, go ahead and drop a like on there for me. Comments are always welcome. You can subscribe if you want. I do a couple of videos each week. Primarily a lot of Star Wars focus with with the Old Republic, but I do like putting up some Elite Dangerous. This is another one of my favorite games. and I hope you're enjoying it. In a couple of months, I'll be probably playing this a lot more once Odyssey is released for the consoles. But until then, I'm gonna continue just building my little fleet of ships up. So until next time, everybody, safe travels.